Alright, see how this works. Uh, or did I switch it? No. I'll switch it in a second. Alright. Alright, sweet. So give me some time to set this up right quick. Just reset this away. Git pull clear new cargo test. Alright. So today we're going to be working on this. This is an intermediate representation for Texas Hold'em hand histories. So this is this is an open source library to convert between Texas Hold'em like online site hand histories and like a minimally or a more efficient like binary data storage format that would allow you to store like as many poker hand histories as possible and like as little storage as possible, while also being like as easy to not even as easy to parse, but designed to be easy or designed to be quick to parse. Like designed to be quick to serialize and deserialize too. And so like the use case of this, turn this on. Is that like I'm trying to build a poker client, like similar to like Poker Tracker 4. Similar to Poker Tracker 4, but not built in like 2010. And that's probably I'm probably just gonna try like during winter break. Just probably spend like 200 hours and just like build that, which would be kind of insane. But yeah, so setup's good. So yeah, what do I gotta do right now? It's like the reason it's called like an intermediate representation is because like there's all these like different representations, and so like in order to like join them into something that's every one of them should have essentially every one of them should have like an implementation of the from trait to this minimized format, and like vice versa they should have an implementation of the to trait to this minimized format. And so then you can like not only convert between them but also like convert from any one of them to this central one so that you can like store them efficiently on a database. So yeah. So like what does some of this look like? So like let's see what a version is. So yeah, this project's in Rust and it's okay. I don't know. I'm not sure that in hindsight Rust is like the best setup for this project, but I was planning to build like the client application in Rust as well, so it's kind of convenient that this library is in Rust. So, like, what does this do? It's like you can imagine a poker hand history, like if you're sitting at a table. It'll be something like this. You'll be in a session, and so like if you ever use Poker Tracker 4, you have all these sessions. A session consists of like a set of tables where the tables have like overlapping. There's like no gaps in the time between all the tables. So like say you spin up like you're just sitting down to play poker, you open up a table on like America's Card Room, you like play on there, then you open up another table. Whether you go from like just until you go back to like 0 tables, this whole thing is like a session, like a block of table entries. And so there's some like metadata that comes along with the session, like a name. Everything will have an ID, and you also have this version. And so I'm just kind of abstracting away all the other stuff that goes into like what is a table, what is a hand at a table. A session will have a version that's like the version of like air Hold'em intermediate representation that I was like build with. And hence we need some way to like serialize this version. And like in the spirit of making things as efficient and small as possible, this version is stored in a U8, where the major version is stored in a U4. Not that that exists, but it's just stored in the first. The major is stored in the most significant 4 bits. The minor is stored in the least significant 4 bits. So like what functions do these apply? Well, first it's not a function, but you have a struct version. It's just a U8. Derive some traits. But the main thing we're looking here are these functions. So new. Pass in a major and a minor U8. And this has like bounds checking. And then you return a okay with the version. Contrarily, we have new unchecked, where you just, for safety, you assume that the caller knows that major and minor are below 16, and does the same function. Retrieving major and minor. Serializing into a writer. Deserializing from a reader. And yeah. So I kind of went like back and forth between like writing these safe versions. Like you'll even see like deserialize, it's like safe here because like we are checking the major version. But perhaps we'll make implementations that don't do that. So like what do I want to do now? I don't know. There's a ton of types. I'm also curious what these warnings are. Like I don't think you need to construct literally every instance of this. We'll see. And like similar for card. Card is like a larger enum has like 54 entries for all of the cards, and then unknown being like opponent's whole cards that they never showed in the hand, but obviously they still have cards of some sort. And then XX is like cards that never existed. You can imagine like the board type, which is like you're playing Texas Hold'em, you have 5 cards on the board. The board type is gonna have 5 cards on it no matter what, but oftentimes hands finished before the river. And so like the card on the river that was never dealt even is XX. So what are some functions that go into a card? 2U8. So I don't know if I said that. Yeah, this is represented as a U8. It's like a enum with 54 variants. And so yeah, 2U8 self as U8. Convert a U8 to a card. Convert a U8 to a card without bounds checking outside of debug. Print it. And test it. So that's that. And lastly for board, quite similar. Just make a board. Same setup. Set card. Shift an index into this. Oh, sorry. It's worth saying that boards are stored as U32s, which, like, you might be curious, like, oh, card is a U8. A board has 5 cards. That should be like 40 bits. So how's it in a U32? Like, recall that the actual amount of the bits in the card UA that we're using is like 54. So you can store that in like 2 to the 6 was like 2 to the 6 is 64, right? Not bugging. Yeah, 2 to the 6 is 64. So like, you can still sort it in 2 to the 6 and just, yes, like if you ever are referencing a card itself, then yeah, technically it is 8 bits. But we never really do that. The cards are only a part of either a board or a whole card. Like whole cards being the 2 cards that are dealt to each player. Like, that's where cards exist. There's not really a utility of cards outside of this context. And so you never really have to construct them as such. You can always construct them as essentially parts within either a board or a set of whole cards. And so we can in fact use like a board of 32, a board that's represented as U32, by just shifting in, assuming that the cards are never going to go beyond the 6 bits, because they aren't. But yeah. So, similarly, set card, then or similar set card unchecked that's unsafe. Get card, and again a get card unchecked that's unsafe. It's unsafe. To array, from array, serialize, deserialize, from Little Indian Bytes, and some tests. So the tests work. So I think first off, I'm just gonna go into these warnings. Like, I don't know, the warn dead code is like super annoying. But yeah, so just continuing on from yesterday, I'm gonna be trying out this like AI junk. Honestly, yesterday was kind of butt, but that was on a very large project. That was on this, which has like, even just on the small domain that I was working on, it's referencing like 10 files perhaps at a time. So perhaps in this like smaller context, it'll be better, but we'll try it out. So I just think like, what am I trying to do right now? Coming from like a previous version, there are some types that I haven't implemented yet. Some of these are considerably harder, like table. It's also important, like, I'm considering that whether these should be rep or C, because like it's like non-deterministically ordered. So like obviously every time I compile the project, I want them to be ordered the same way. Because that is like a feature, or it's just like an attribute of Rust. Like your struct, or like any like product type entries are not guaranteed to be like in any order, whether that's, yeah, I mean any order. So I'm actually gonna look that up. Rust deterministic struct ordering, field ordering. Repr. See, I'm not certain that I want to use Repr C is the problem. Different, because like different, what am I saying? Different Rust structure wrappers. Repr C, Repr transparent. Repr U star, Repr I star. Fieldless Enon. Doesn't have any data in its variants. Oh, this could actually be useful. Hold up. Specify the size and sign to make a fieldless enum. So this is like our card, fieldless enum, right? I believe fieldless enum. I believe we can still have variants, not like any like data within them. The overflowing element to be explicitly 0. I mean, I wouldn't imagine 2 variants. What's the utility of having 2 variants of the same descriptor? The term fieldless enum only means that the enum does not have, yeah, okay. Don't a Repr U star does not have a stable, okay. We do need this because it's not going to be the same ordering every time, I believe. What is ABI? ABI. Rust. What is ABI? Application binary interface. The public API of an executable. So yeah, that needs to be consistent. Like, very reasonable. One sec. So I think repr u star. I'm still not really sure what. Doesn't really explicitly say what u star and I star is. But I think we need one of them. Rust repr u star. Oh, unsigned star. Oh, I'm really dumb. That's like u star. Wait, that's what I did. Bro, I'm actually bugging. Hold on. Wait, I think I'm gonna need to go into the enum and like assign each one of these. Yeah, I'm dumb. Dang, that is really embarrassing. The star is just like any integer or like any type. Yeah, that is very dumb. Maybe. All right. What a Vim quiz. How can I make a what macro can I make that adds equals and then like a iterator? No way, I just had the freaking fire alarm beep. Uh, okay, wait, how do you do that? Let me ask this AI bot. Oh wait, it's gonna know the context of the file too. Do like add equals and comma, not the comma. Invariance? What is invariance? What is it? Invariance programming. Oh, it's true. Yeah, I don't know. I said draw the variance of the card, you know. Right. See if this AI is trash. So move it to ace clubs. Dude, stop hijacking my cursor, bro. Dude, oh my god. Oh my, that's so AIDS. Every time it updates a window, it yanks your cursor to that window. So position your cursor on the first line with ace clubs. Imagine when I go to the end of this word. Pin to the end of the line. It's not gonna add. What's telling it to increment the values? No, I don't want to copy paste the AI, bro. Though that would be convenient. Can I just press A to apply that? Okay, that is like kind of convenient. I can't lie to you. But not reject AI. Foreign macros. Press QQ. So I think I'm gonna go here. It's like the QQ to set a register Q. I equals. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to explicitly say something and go to the other one. QQ. Do A. I'm actually gonna. I don't think I already said that. Equals 0. Comma. Escape. J. Q. 53 at Q. No, that just adds 0. AI is shit. Dude, AI is so trash. Oh my god. Dude, what it's actually telling you to increment, bro? Them. Increment. Is that what you call that? Increment macro? Increment the number is Control A. How does it know what number it is? Just move. Okay, let me try this thing. that just added equals 0 to all of them. Make it increment. Dude, that is so garbage. Okay, wait, hold up. False alarm. Alright. Looks a little better. Looks like it's actually doing something. First line within ace clubs. Just do macro. A. Dude, append is gonna do it after the comma, what? QA. Dude, append is gonna do it after the comma, you're bugging me. Either way, delete the comma. 0. What? Equals 0? No, that's not how you do it, dude. It's not relative to the line number. Dude, AI is so trash. Maybe I'm using the wrong one. Am I using the wrong AI? Alright, let me just listen to this dude on. So insert mode. Copy the first few characters. So I think that's proprietary to this. Back to normal mode. Increment the number. Increment the number. Okay, this is doing it with line numbers. Alright, I'm just giving up, honestly. I'm just gonna apply this. Or better apply this. And CT, there's variance in the Xenon. Alright, so it was good at just like brute forcing it, but the macro jack was very counterproductive. Multiple variants are never constructed. Card has derived impulse for the traits. There's a problem that it's never using clone and debug. I mean, it's a library. And you need copy to have clone. Well, oh, if clone implemented card, you could derive the right. And you consider deriving debug. Oh, consider deriving copy. Oh, everything's broken. Okay, that's awesome. Alright, let me just unwarn dead code. What is it? Unwarn. Is it unwarn? Unwarn dead code. Allow dead code. Alright. Yeah, I love the, oh, you might want to add this. You might want to add this. Oh, adding all of that caused 50 warnings. So I should have a test just at least hitting each one of these. Yeah, I'm not even testing anything. Wait, what am I testing? Card D8. These are all Jippity tests, by the way. Shame invited. I mean, yeah, I trust that. Two U8. So you can't really construct a card variant that doesn't exist. Card from U8 valid. So let's do this test, but for the unsafe version. So card from U8, unchecked, invalid. I probably want the same thing for valid as well. So just delete this. Or I want both of these. Then we'll do this. So this one's gonna be unchecked. Now we just do from U8. From U8 unchecked is not a thing. It's two. No, it is. From U8 unchecked. Is this a thing? Not true. It is a thing. So what's the error? No method name expect. Yeah, it's because there's no error. And we'll have to wrap this in an unsafe. But can you extract the card out of that? Can you show reference the card? How'd I do this in the other test? Let's go into, let's harpoon that. Let's delete both of those. Let's harpoon that. Let's go to board. Let's go to the bottom. There's one where I had like unsafe. Maybe not. Am I bugging? Unsafe block. But what card? We can just put this in here as well, right? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that's unchecked valid, unchecked invalid. So from U8, unchecked. So you're kind of expecting this to... The problem is like undefined behavior. How do you test undefined behavior? So like I'm expecting this to do what? Nothing. How do you even test this? Like how do you assert, like Rust assert, yeah, assert UB like. Yeah, I don't think you really test that. I think that's right how that works. What I just delete. So now we're having issues. The name is from U8 invalid is defined multiple times. Huh? Just needed to save. Yes, carrier tested. So that works. So what else is never referenced here? 2U8? How is 2U8 never... Wait, from U8? From U8 unchecked is referenced there. It's a library, bro. Does it know this is a library? Kokotomo. Package. Package. If it was executed, it would be something different, right? Yeah. Yeah, this track is annoying. Let's do this. Make sure this has the audio. don't know how mic is so quiet, but whatever. I'm calling all of these. Okay, this is variants never used. It is used, bro. Oh, is it because it's public? That's actually kind of a good point. But it's a library, bro. I'm never gonna use it outside of a test. Whereas the library has that unused. Okay, so the problem is not exported. Mod types, mod RS, board card version, mod types. Those are not exported. Oh wait, you have to do pub mod? Pub mod? It's been a while. Maybe pub mod. Okay, you gotta do pub mod. That makes sense. Okay, so now we're showing. So that's version. So that's all three of those. All right, that makes sense. So we're trying to like delete this file, but this is just when I had it all in one file without like any implementations of these structs. How it looks like. So, So I think we can do action. An action is an action type and a bet amount. So let's make it. Oh my gosh. Shut up. Voice is so dumb. Okay. Action.rs. So we're gonna need standard IO, self read and write. So we're gonna have this bet amount. I'm considering like, because I imagine in most use cases, this is gonna be sets. But then it also invalidates tournaments. No. Well, like when you're playing online, you'll have like an amount of set. You'll have like $20.10. When you're playing live, you'll just have dollars. Perhaps we should have a store everything in cents. So let's send this to mod action. So it's actually being loaded. So let's go back to game. So we have an action type. That's like what this is. Of a player at a given point in the hand. You have an action type, which is either a fold. I wonder if we could get kind of crafty. Having an action be like a U64. What is the size of that amount of a U32? Because this is always going to be strictly positive. So if you do this as sense, so first off, sense only matter if the small blind is lower than $1. Right? You'll have rake as well. You have rake as well, which is a problem. Just look up a YouTube video of like YouTube. Let's look at David Capo. Because I think he plays like 1-2. Yeah, so turn this track on. So this is probably like 1-2. But you can still bet in sense as well. So I think sense is solid. If you're playing a tournament, you're just gonna have an amount of. Well, I guess you might have dollars as well. I think from a local perspective, it's an action has a what is an action? That is an action type. So this will be faster if the action type is first. Okay. Okay, wait. Imagine this. Imagine. So action type: fold, check, bet, call, raise, all in. All in. Need? Question mark. So imagine the first bit of this. So fold and check are two actions, which don't have. These are the only two actions that don't really have a. They don't have like a wager associated with them. You're adding $0. So perhaps like we have this action type on the top. We have this action type on the top. This, if we do have all in, this has 6 variants. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like we're losing anything by having all in, because you couldn't even store 5 variants if you wanted to. Wait. So with 3 bits, have 8 variants. If we deleted both of these and a bet, okay, before we start penny pinching on these, let's consider if this is going to be a U32 or U64. So this also matters if, so what is an action in? It's like what I'm trying to do right now is look like we want things to be take up as few bits as possible, but also be like the smallest unit at which you'll index these should be like a U32 or U64. And it should be like particularly. Well, if you're in like 64-bit, everything should really be be part of a U64. So events. Yeah, so events. So really, every event should be a U64. Honestly. Nah, events are huge. Yeah, events are massive. For context, an event is something that changes the state of the table after initialization. So that is either a hand, like a hand being played, or like a new person joining the table, a person leaving the table, or somebody topping up chips. And you want all of these to be the same size because they are instances of the table event. So the U32 range. See, it would be really nice if action was a U32. Because we're going to be storing actions in a vec like this. So we could just have like a size. Instead of using a vec, we could just use an array. Like in a representation, we could just have the amount to expect and then the amount. And that would be really nicely lined up. So actions are always children of hands. So where did I put hand? Oh wait, hand is here. No, it's card. Where's hand? Hand. Hand is here. Hand has an ID, a button position, hole cards. I forgot the way that I designed this is that the session is from the perspective of the hero. Is that intention? I think hand needs to be adjusted. So hold on. See, I'm going to the bathroom real quick, but I think hand needs to be adjusted to, for one, have this. The whole card should be the length of the amount of players at the table. Because like if somebody shows at the end of the hand, you can also have sites where you can just show like randomly. You want to be able to represent. You want to be able to hold as many whole cards as you have players. Times 2, if you like, as many sets of whole cards as you have players. So we can consider like the alignment within hand after, but I think you can't really go wrong with having actions be a first like a indicator of the length of the actions that we're gonna have, and then just after that, just U32, U32, U32. Though the amount of actions will be quite small, like certainly a U8. So perhaps there's some data that we can store in actions, but yeah, we'll see. Because you want that to be. What happens when you drink a Monster Energy for breakfast, bro? Наш стрим еще работает. Кажется. I don't want to show what this bitrate junk is. I don't really care that much. So what was I about to do? Что я буду делать? Нет, что я сделаю? Это неправильно. Alright, we just cut the board out. We just cut the... Yeah, this can go. Dude, it's cold in this. Turn that off. So. Back to... What are we doing? Action. So you're gonna think about the hand. What is a hand? So let's go to this. In this case, a person can have up to 4. What is this? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They can have up to $4 million. Better. The problem is we can't really cut into that. Because if you cut 3 bits out of that, it's like 2 to the 29. 2 to the 29. Still $5 million. Do we want to support open? Because I don't think you can really do that on most websites. Do we want to support open folding? Because you could also just have like a check. Like a check fold, which is just a check in context and a fold in context. So I can't think of a website where you can just open fold. You cannot open fold out of turn, or like, what's not necessarily out of turn. There's not really a website where you can just fold. Well, I think you can on PokerNow. PokerNow. Not a public game. Copy a link. Hopefully this works. 2, take the seat. Give me $100. Name SDF. Take the seat. And then I'm here. Can we get an incognito read on a window? Cut this out. Go to here, paste. Got it. Dude, I just want to test something. Because open folding does change stuff. Because there's two ways we could do this. There's two extremes. So you have this one that's quite verbose. And then you have check fold, or it's not even verbose, it's just like more explicit. It does kind of redundantly define some things by not really caring about the context. But you also have bet, which you can consider a raise a bet. You can consider all in a bet. And you have three types. I think for the acquisition of stats, like you want to see your preflop waste percentage, it would be a lot easier to just go through and look at everything that's erased and actually run through the hands and find everything that's erased. Which means if you have check fold, bet raise call, that would be convenient. I think that's the best setup. Because bet preflop ways. Well, everything preflop is a raise. Everything preflop will be categorized as a raise is the problem. And if it was static size, it'd be really easy just to move the head back 32. Look at what the previous action was. See if that was a bet, and then you'd know it's a raise. And then we're doubling the amount we can save. Especially if we're doing, I think we're going to try to make an action a U32. The problem is it's not going to be very well aligned if it starts with a U8. So I'm trying to just consider a bunch of tactics. Like, how can we make this efficient? I like having 4 states. 2 bits is just really nice. I don't think we need fold and check distinguish. We need call distinguish, raise bet. Yeah, I think that's solid. All in. I don't think it's too useful. So in action, we're going to reduce this to a U32. Am I not doing that right? Like, what is a board? Pub struct. Okay, it's a struct. So I'm gonna harpoon this. Sorry. Let's go to board. Harpoon board. Go to action. Harpoon action. Because these will be similar. So I'll probably just get all of these. They're kind of zero costish. It says binary size, but if they're not used, that'll be fine. So action type. We'll have that there. So we're gonna want display for action. So what is an action? Most significant 2 bits are the action type. We're gonna make that a like action type. Other least 30 bits are the bet size in cents. So we want fold. So we're gonna do repr U8 here. I imagine you can't do like U2. Yeah, you have SIMD. That's interesting. So it's gonna be a U8. We're gonna have fold. Check fold is 0, 0. Call is 0, 1. Bet 1, 0. Raise 1, 1. Oh, that formatting is pretty clean. Call is equal to 1. Bet is equal to 2. Raise is equal to 3. A 2-bit. Would you call this a discriminant? Like, not in discriminant programming. Discriminant in programming. Function used to pattern classifiers to predict the future space based on probabilities. I feel like that's kind of stretching the vocabulary. A 2-bit value denoting the actions type. Okay, so there's that. Now let's impl action. And we're gonna have a pub function new. So we'll have a new that checks it. So this is gonna be from bytes. This new just gives you a blank board. But you can also do from. I think that's all. Though I feel like if we go to a card, the new on card, there isn't a function card new. What about the new on version? Yeah, new takes in things. It's not just like 0, 0. But that's also because your version doesn't really change within the context of the application. Let's go back to action. Making a new action. What are you doing when you make a new action? You're putting in an action type and a U32 that will be bounds checked. So create an action. So even though this is right next to it, if somebody's like shift K'ing on this, I want them to see the link to create an action. Create an action with bounds checking. We'll also have a pub function new unchecked, pub unsaved function new unchecked. Takes in the same things but does not bounds check anything. So what does new take in? Takes in a AT action type. Perhaps type is better here. It's gonna be type underscore, yeah. Let's just name it AT. And we'll have a wager. Cents. I think defining them as cents is solid. So cents is a U32. And this should return an IO result. of an action itself. I believe that's similar to version. We're gonna need a harping version. I don't have a version error. I feel like I went differently. We had version error. Probably do the same here. Just have a result with action or an action error. Sorry, self action error. Define action error to see anything get from version. So we'll just do this. Script typing. So I'll have this be action error. So one of them will have Right, it's starting to distract me. How am I even doing this? Hour in? I haven't really done much, so I need to stop messing around. Action error. So what goes wrong here? You have a sense exceeds range with a U32 in it. So that's the one that we have here. Type. So we're gonna have an inline. We're gonna have an inline function here for impl of action type. I'm gonna have a function that's inline, and this should be we can have a safe and an unsafe version. Safe version would be from U8. From U8 checked. Also have one, so we have from U8 checked. Then we'll have a pub function to U8, which is quite safe. So this one, just a reference to self, turning a U8, pretty easy. It's just a dereference self as U8. The safe one, take in a AT U8, so return self. And this is the bounds checked one, so we can say if AT is greater than 3, error here. And similarly in this one's also going to take an AT U8. So this one will actually be a result with a self and an action error. And this one's just a self, because we're just assuming. So we can go ahead and say here, this is going to have a panic in debug mode. And it's going to have safety. Caller must ensure U8 value maps to valid enum variant. U8 is less than is 3 or less. And then so, what panic on invalid U8 in debug mode. So here we'll have debug assert that AT is less than 4. And U8 action type value exceeds bounds. And then what do we do? How do we do it for version? How do we do this? From U8. Unchecked. How do you even do it here? Let me get a version. How do we do it here? So it'll return an error early if we're in these things. So this will be a action error. Have a U8 in there. Have an action type invalid U8 as action type. So we can just define that. Invalid U8 as action type. So if it is valid, how do you do this? If it is valid, you just shift it in. Huh. How do you do what I'm trying to do? It's like how we did it with card. So it's fine that this is a U8. So I should instead be looking at card. So from U8, transmute, that's it. We can just call it value to be consistent. So for here, safety, it's the same thing. I'm gonna invert the logic here. Value is less than 3. Just because that's what we do here. And we can just do that. Safety. Search in the valid enum instances. So it has an IO error here. I don't know if I want to use an IO error. I don't understand why. I don't understand whether I should use IOWare or just make my own like I did for version. Probably just make my own. Uh, so this should be like a card error in that sense. Oh, I was recording a macro for like 20 minutes. That'd be a crazy macro. So let's yoink all of this again. Get back to card above the tests. Make a card error. DTE card. We have one variant. That is card. What do I call it in this? Invalid. Say it. Invalid U8 as card. Card error. Here. So we have one. Card error. Invalid U8 is card. I have a U8 here. It's outside of the range 0.54. Yeah. Where's my bracket? Or sorry, 0.53 with a hard bracket. Card enum variant tag. And finally here for card error. I'm going to do the same thing for this. This should be an action error. We need to use standard format. And a DTE. What is this? Action error. I should have macroed that DTE action error. WDW invalid. DW sense. It's going to be a just U32. This will be a, just call that U8. DBU8. DBU32. Sense value exceeds bounds. Is beyond range. 0 inclusive to U to the 2 to the 30 exclusive. All right, and DTE action. I think we're good there. So back to this. We've got these functions. First off, let's just write what will this do. Constructs a action type from a raw U8. Safely constructs so this still doesn't actually do anything. Why I'm just returning this. That's type inferred. Fucking installed here. So I think this is gonna be pretty good. My only thing I don't know right now is like, okay, we have this 32-bit action, and we can expect on average to have 6 max. This is gonna be huge. So we probably shouldn't do this. We're gonna need to change the design of this, because if you do it in enum, I think yeah, we might be breaking a lot of type rules. Because like imagine we have these different actions. We have these different table events. We have a hand that consists of n actions. We have a person joining the table. Let's just look at those two. A person joining the table is just going to have an ID, a seat, and a starting stack. That's going to be a lot less data than like 10 actions. But I think if we made both, a lot less data than 10 actions, which would be a hand. So we're comparing like a hand and a player join. But if we have them as variants of the same enum, I believe that player join would be padded to make a, well no, because hand will be a vec, or it'll be similar to a vec. It'll be like our own type that has a variable, it'll be like a variable length array type. I'm not thinking this out. Rust standard vector. I don't want it to grow, is the thing. Rust vector memory representation. Oh, that's heap? Nah, bruh. That's not gonna work. This might be a Jippity question. I feel like that's a good use case of Jippity. Alright, so it's almost easier to go in this is sense 32. Sense defined at the table. The like currency interpretation of sense is defined at the table level. Yeah, currency interpretation of sense is defined at the table level. So panics on invalid inputs in debug mode. Safety. Caller ensures. So I feel like these should both be raw, and then we'll just call into, because like you're not gonna want safe. I don't imagine you want safe one of them and unsafe the other one. If you do, fair enough. So this is gonna be different because you don't construct sense. Types. So less than 2 to the 30. New unchecked. So we take sense. Huh, wait. This is actually kind of interesting because it's actually kind of convenient because sense will just have the lower 30 bits filled in, and then we just got to and the last 2 bits of AT into sense, right? So how do I do that? I feel like this is kind of Jippity-ish. I feel like Jippity would know better than me on that. Just run to this right quick when I log in. Okay, so this is what I was doing yesterday. So let's go back to this. So let's just show this guy. Action. Started building action. How would I set a U32 for the new unchecked action function that has the first 2 bits be the action type variant and the last 30 cents. Problem is, like, you might have to do the U8 as the U32 and then shift it 30. I don't know if there's a more efficient way than that. I at least thought it was what I said. Honestly, I feel like Jippy is solid. Because, like, I could have tried that. I could have typed that, tested it, and been like, oh, it works. Or I could just know, like, I think you do this. I feel like it's better in that case. Um, like if I didn't know anything about that, then using Jippity is like a long-term negative. Like that right there was actually quite efficient. So like, so I think I'm probably gonna finish this next function up and head out because I'm about to go to Kroger. About 2 hours. That's somewhat respectable. So we're gonna debug assert. Um, action type wasn't 3, succeeds bounds, or action type as you. I imagine that gets optimized out. Let's see if Jippity knows. This is better. This is considerably better. Yeah, that's very clean. I was too focused on... Yeah, that's very smart. That's clean. That's super clean. That's definitely better than transmute. I'm assuming it's better than transmute. So I also might adopt its comments. Value representing the action's type, the action of the player, the most significant 2 bits, at least 30 bits are the best sense. Safely constructs from a raw uint. Safety. Very much ensure UA value is in range. 0. Huh. That's kind of curious then. Because I would just be like having this unmatched. I'm curious whether this is any better. And this is like a... What is this? Where's like the implementation of this? Huh. So it's saying this should just be that? Okay. What did it think of my action? Dang, okay. It likes that. These are convenient. And take those. Okay, so it's helping me out on these. DI, is it shift DI? How do you do the delete without yanking? Then delete without yank. Black hole register. The non-volatile yank registers. Interesting. So if I yank this. Wait. Wait. Oh. How do you paste from it? Boom. 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 Kind of dope. I've really not really gotten into registers for all. Invalid U8 is action type. What was the message there? Invalid U8 is action type. That's invalid 0 to 3. Sure. Yeah. I agree that those are better. So I haven't used any of this. Do I need the serializer and deserializer? I don't think so because we're never. But going back to this, having like a serializer and a deserialize, that just writes it to a writer and reads it from a writer. This is like safe though. I don't even know if I'd use this. Let's just consider if we need. I think that's a good use of Jibbity as well. Oh, it already had him? Dude, that's crazy. That's true. After we finish this up, so also like, I really like being able to just trust that. That is quite nice. It's there, so we need to. Sorry, it's gonna be reader and writer. Or is that too much going? Why I don't like that? 2 bytes. Do I need to? Partially Q. Let's do this as well. Did I paste them in action type? That's the problem. I pasted them in action type. D. Down into action. Yeah, that was pretty dumb. You can paste, just not blindly paste. So it didn't like the action error. Oh, from IO error. Okay. Oh, okay, that's solid. It's gonna be an IO error. So yeah, I think that's a happy medium. EQ is not satisfied. Moving for standard error. Debug clone. EQ is not satisfied. So this is like validating it. So I know if I like that. I don't really like that. Yank the tests. Clone. The clone is not implemented there. Nor is EQ, I believe. So where am I doing that? Yeah. Yeah. That is like such an artificial problem. First off, does my formatter have a lifetime? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's just kind of awkward. Error kind. That's solid. That works. That's solid. Debug. Partial. The clone. Partial EQ. EQ allowed. Does both of those. Error kind. From my error. VAPP. Yeah, I think that's enough info. We're gonna need that. And the test. So deserialize IO error. Deserialize IO error. So V10 VAP P save. Right, let's try to cargo test that. Doesn't build. For other reasons. Did I mod that? I did mod that. It's a board. We're not building a board. So yeah. Probably do the same thing that we did this. But I think that's good for now. I'm about to go to Kroger. Excuse me. So we'll just leave those local for now. Actually put a git shutdown. Dash B action type. Push set stream origin action type. I forgot to actually add anything. We can just blindly do it. Git commit then action looks solid. Card etc no compile. Push that. And clear that. Action type 3 seconds ago. Q. I'll leave that up. Come back in a second. So yeah, that was about 2 hours on hair, Hold'em intermediate representation. Respectable progress. Hopefully the Jippity stuff is in the right direction, not the wrong one, but we'll see. And so yeah, that's it for this one.